After the coup that overthrew President Ngo Dinh Diem in November 1963, the political situation in South Vietnam fell into prolonged instability. The successive governments lacked stability and were internally divided, leading to a clear decline in their ability to control the battlefield. Faced with the growing strength of revolutionary forces in the South, the United States began adjusting its strategy, shifting from an advisory role to more direct and extensive involvement. In that context, Washington developed a plan to conduct a campaign of destruction against North Vietnam using air and naval forces. The objective of this strategy was to weaken the North's military potential and defense industry, reduce pressure on the Army of the Republic of Vietnam on the southern battlefield, and cut off the flow of personnel and supplies from north to south through the Strategic Transportation Network. In March 1964, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara officially proposed expanding military operations to exert pressure on the North. 1 month later, Plan 3764 was approved with a list of 94 key targets. Notably, each wave of airstrikes against these targets required the direct approval of President Lyndon B. Johnson, demonstrating the high level of sensitivity and political calculation behind the strategy of escalating the war. Facing the risk of U.S. expansion of the war to the north, the Democratic Republic of Vietnam proactively prepared its air defense and air force under extremely urgent and secretive conditions. Many outstanding young men were selected and sent to China for fighter pilot training under an accelerated yet systematic program. This was a strategic step to build a regular air force amid the country's many difficulties. On the basis of MiG-17 trainees, the 921st Air Regiment, also known as the Red Star Unit, was established, marking the birth of the first main fighter unit of the Vietnam People's Air Force. At the same time, the Soviet Union provided 33 MiG-17 aircraft and 3 MiG-15 UTI training aircraft, creating the necessary technical foundation for combat operations. On August 6, 1964, 70 pilots completed their training and returned home, ready to enter their first aerial battles to defend the skies of the North. In the process of selecting targets for the bombing campaign against North Vietnam, the Ham Rong Bridge emerged as a key point of particularly strategic importance. This bridge was the only structure spanning the Ma River on National Highway 1A in the Thanh Hoa area, and it also connected the North-South Railway and roadway. Thanks to this position, Ham Rong became a crucial transportation link, ensuring the continuity of supply routes from the northern rear to the battlefields in the south, and even to Laos. From the U.S. military perspective, destroying Ham Rong Bridge could sever a strategic transportation artery, disrupting the flow of personnel, weapons, and food supplies to revolutionary forces. Moreover, bringing down the bridge aimed to inflict heavy damage on the economy and transportation system of Thanh Hoa Province, an important rear base area. For this reason, Ham Rong was identified by the White House and the Pentagon as a top priority target in the initial waves of airstrikes. On April 3, 1965, the first aerial battle to defend Ham Rong Bridge officially took place on a large scale. The United States mobilized a formidable force, including modern aircraft such as F-105 F-8s, A-4s, RF-101s, along with KC-135 refueling planes, to strike the Thanh Hoa area and neutralize the strategic bridge. In response, 4 MiG-17s of the Vietnam People's Air Force were ordered to take off and engage the enemy. In this unequal confrontation in terms of equipment, Vietnamese pilots demonstrated remarkable courage and skill. Pilot Pham Ngoc Lan shot down an F-8, followed by Phan Van Tuc, who downed another F-8. At the same time, ground-based air defense forces closely coordinated, shooting down additional U.S. aircraft and creating an effective multi-layered defensive posture. The fact that the MiG-17, considered an outdated aircraft, shot down the modern F-8 created a significant impact. This was the first major victory of the Northern Air Force and caused considerable shock, strongly affecting American morale. On April 4, 1965, the intensity of the fighting continued to escalate and reached a fierce peak. The United States increased hundreds of sorties, deploying additional groups of F-105s. the modern fighter bombers nicknamed Thunder Chief, with the determined objective of destroying Ham Rong Bridge. However, the Vietnam People's Air Force continued to proactively intercept. In the swirling aerial dogfights, Vietnamese pilots shot down F-105s, inflicting significant losses on the enemy. Notably, pilot Trần Hanh successfully executed evasive maneuvers to avoid a U.S. Sidewinder missile, one of the most advanced air-to-air missiles at the time. This was considered the first time the Vietnamese Air Force successfully handled a missile engagement in actual combat. Meanwhile, the multi-layered air defense system, including 57mm artillery, anti-aircraft guns, and militia and self-defense forces, coordinated smoothly to create a dense fire network protecting the target. During April 3rd and 4, 1965, the scale of the U.S. air raids on the Ham Rong Thanh Hoa area was assessed as the largest since the beginning of the bombing campaign against the North. In just 48 hours, the United States launched 174 strike formations with a total of 454 aircraft sorties of various types, dropping 627 bombs along with hundreds of rockets on key targets. The intensity of the bombardment demonstrated Washington's high determination to destroy this strategic bridge. According to statistics from North Vietnam, during the 2 days of fierce fighting, air defense and Air Force units shot down 47 U.S. aircraft. This figure held great psychological and propaganda significance, demonstrating the resolute resistance capability of the Northern defense system. However, the North also suffered heavy losses. Many transportation infrastructures, houses, and residential areas were destroyed. Numerous soldiers and civilians were killed or wounded. The battle was therefore not only a military confrontation, but also left profound human and material consequences. In terms of strategic results, despite mobilizing a powerful air force and carrying out multiple intense bombing waves in April 1965, the United States failed to destroy Ham Rong Bridge as intended. The bridge continued to stand, ensuring that the north-south transportation artery was not completely severed. This failure revealed the limitations of the early bombing strategy while affirming the effectiveness of the multi-layered air defense posture built by the North. The victory in defending Ham Rong quickly resonated widely, not only domestically, but also internationally. Many Western newspapers and observers recognized it as one of the battles that inflicted significant losses on the U.S. Air Force, sparking debate within American public opinion about the effectiveness of the escalating war. It was not until 1972, when the United States used laser-guided smart bombs in a second large-scale bombing campaign, that Ham Rong Bridge was finally neutralized. This further underscored the resilience and symbolic significance of the 1965 battle.